Welcome back to Dracon's Plays, Dark Souls Remastered. Alright, so anyways, today we're rocking the Great Club plus 15, Grass Crest plus 5, Gargoyle Helm, Balder Armor, Tattered Cloth Manchettes, Wanderer Boots, forgot about rings, so let's do Chloranthe, and Havels to get me to mid-roll anyways. Alright, that seems pretty decent. Okay, anyways, so today's episode, we're going to be heading to the DLC. Now, to start with, we need to get a key What? Okay, that didn't even register as a hit. It was just, I'm dead. Damn. Okay, so... Alright, I'm gonna have to proceed from Anor Londo's bonfire. Not there, because that was not good. Alright. Yep, just immediately lose my humanity, both the state and my soft humanity. Perfect. Okay, with that unfortunate mishap, so anyways, we need to grab a key item from the Duke's archives here to be able to proceed into the DLC. Now, the entrance to the Dark Souls DLC is not great. People were very confused when this first came out, and most people ended up having to look up instructions on how to find it, because it is ridiculous. So, to start with, step 1 is to save Dusk. So you have to do all of that that we did a while back in Darkroot Basin. So you have to save Dusk. And then the Crystal Golem that you run into, near where I died actually, drops a key item. Once you have that key item, you then return to where you saved Dusk. And then you go from there into the DLC. It's a very confusing chain of events, none of which is made clear at all in-game. Just something you might stumble upon. The entrance to the DLC is definitely one of the weaker points in the game. Just out of curiosity. Let's see, 56. Much less stability, only 50%. Man, he aggroes from far away, doesn't he? That was meant to be a back roll, but it messed up. Dear God. Like, this section is just ludicrous Because these guys already do pretty decent damage. And then them having that attack buff on top of it. With this respawning channeler. Alright. Fortunately, that golem has very small aggro range. Alright, so he drops the broken pendant. Now, with that item, we're able to proceed back to where we saved Dusk. Half of a broken stone pendant, this vine appears to originate from Oolacile. A powerful magic can be sensed from this ancient stone, yet men of this time can neither manipulate nor sense its power, which has a distinct air consisting of both reverence and nostalgia. And then the closest warp point is Undead Parish, which is another one of the annoyance things with this, where it's like, nah, neither one of the, like, the DLC's entrance and where you get the broken pendant are not near warpable bonfires, which involves you having to do runs to get to them. Kind of annoying. That's the wrong way. Alright. Anyways. So, in case it was not clear, the DLC takes place in Oolacile, which is an ancient land. So this is actually involving time travel shenanigans. Not terribly clear how any of that part of this works, but definitely interesting to note that it's like, no, this is all time travel related. Darkroot Garden. Alright. So, with the Hydra dead, we have a much easier time getting down into the basin here. That was weird. There was like a pop-in thing at the lake that made it look like the Hydra was still around. Which is not correct, because you cannot get that broken pendant without having taken care of the Hydra and saved Dusk. Alright, so being a mid-roll character, we cannot afford to leave the crystal golems alive, since they will chase us down. Okay, these ones are substantially weaker. Ha! I caught him mid-jump with my jump. Alright, and that is that. So, for starters, Dusk is now no longer summonable. Which I guess is supposed to be your hint that something is not right. That's supposed to force you to go back to where you saved her from. But once again, there's no good indication of that. They could have solved that problem by dropping a message there on the ground. The other weird part of it is she does not get kidnapped until after you have the broken pendant. Which is another weird little, like, detail. Now, part of the problem with that is, let's say you beat the Duke's Archives before you save Dusk, then the Broken Pendant will not be waiting there for you, which means you will not have a good reason to go back there. And without the Broken Pendant, none of this takes place. It's one of those, like, weird, baffling decisions. Now, few things. For starters, there's that obvious portal, but there's also an item behind it. So, hopefully, I cannot remember if it's an interact prompt on the portal, or if it's auto drawing you in. I think it's interact, but I would like to get that item first. So we get Dusk set there, which was available before the DLC dropped. Should be noted. Crown of Dusk. Special magic crown bestowed upon Dusk, Princess of Oolacile, upon her birth. Its wearer is blessed by all manners of magic. This raises the power and effect of the wearer's magic, but damage suffered by magic attacks also rises. So it nerfs your magic defense. Which is not actually properly displayed, like, there. Instead, it, like, doubles damage taken from, like, magic. Now then. Where is it? Antiquated dress? Yeah, here we go. A dress from the ancient fallen land of Oolacile. Its ivory-colored silk features elaborate embroidery and is imbued with ancient magic. One cannot expect any physical protection from this garment, as it is not meant to be worn in battle. And then she also has a, like, dress and gloves. Now, we have this weird portal here, which actually always faces you. Looks super cool in the remaster. Yeah, it always faces the camera. It's super weird. Examine. And like that, we are drawn into the past. Yeah, you can see what I mean about that not being a great setup. Alright. So, I do want to reverse hollowing here. And I do want to kindle. Alright. Now then. Upon arriving in the DLC, you show up in this underground room. Well, not quite underground, actually. You do have a little view of outside, but it is still effectively underground. Bunch of tree roots. Really, interesting entrance area. And it actually kind of starts a theme where Dark Souls, in FromSoft's DLCs seem to start like an underground or indoor area. Because you have this, let's see, the Crown of the Sunken King DLC from Dark Souls 2 starts in an underground chamber. The Iron King DLC starts indoors in a room when you step out. Yeah, that one starts outside. Dark Souls 3 DLCs, Ashes of Ariandel and Ring City both start off indoors. It's a very common thing for FromSoft to like start DLCs indoors and have like a dramatic moment where you step through. Now, this one Actually... Whoa! That counter hit, though. Okay, mid-roll is not great here. Damn, those follow-ups. And that is why I kindled. Okay, so I need fast roll for this. I forgot this guy is a huge pain with, like, mid or fat roll. And then he combos. And with high poise, you just get, like... I didn't even have high poise, but it's super easy to get, like, stun-locked by this guy. Come on. That tracked. Okay. The heal did not come out. Oh boy, Sanctuary Guardian. This is, like, a heck of a way to start a DLC. It does not help. Well, I actually haven't even gotten a good hit on him. But it's just like, his damage is stupid high. Like, he's really hitting my character in particular pretty hard. And I totally lost my souls and humanity there. Damn! Oh, sheesh. Guardian Tail. I hit him like a truck, though. I cut his tail in one. Stop rolling, I want... Oh, that's right, you can't sprint while locked on in DS1. Ah! I misread that. Gotcha. He doesn't have much health, so if you have good damage, you can pretty quickly wipe him out, but he is a problem. Like, in his damage shield. Alright, Guardian Tail. Slice tail of the Sanctuary Guardian. This flexible, spiked, and highly poisonous tail would make a rather obnoxious weapon. Yeah, it is not a good weapon. Its only redeeming feature is it inflicts toxic. Now, we also got the Guardian Soul, which actually looks different, which I wish they did more with the souls in the base game. Soul of the White-Winged Lion, Sanctuary Watchkeeper, who dreaded the spread of the Abyss. The Guardian exhibited traits of several animals other than lions, suggesting that it was no ordinary beast, but rather closer to the beings known as demons. So they also went further with the soul descriptions in the DLC, which is another nice touch. Only 30k on killing him, though. I hit him, what, 4 or 5 times? But it's like, he killed me in like 2 hits a few times. Granted, those were his bigger hits, but still. Damn, 44k per level. We're only a little behind the curve. Honestly, pretty happy with that. I hate that that boots you out of the menu for no reason. Alright. Now then. More endurance, please. Alright. So if that's the entrance... Is it off to the left or the right? It's off to the right. There is a humanity hidden among these graves. There it is. Humanity.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable. Ah, Princess Dusk's savior. Thine aura is precisely as she described.
Here we go.
I thank thee deeply for rescuing Her Highness, but Princess Dusk is here no longer, snatched away by that horrifying primeval human.
Here we go.
And so I must ask, couldst thou once more play the savior?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. I am Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary. Something of a godmother to Princess Dusk. I shall assist thee to my utmost, for I am one with the sorceries of Oolacile.
Alright, and she takes on Princess Dusk's store, with additional items.
Thou shalt see further on, an abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Oolacile. Knight Artorius came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable. Still, I have faith that Princess Dusk may be rescued yet. Thou shalt see and without indeed still.
Alright.
May the flames guide thee.
So obviously, so a few things. Let's start off with. So we are obviously in the past. The exact time frame is a little unclear. The game developers, I believe, I think it was Miyazaki in an interview, referred to 300 years, but that doesn't really make sense, just given a lot of different factors that we'll be seeing. So, to start with, where are we? Well, there's Anor Londo, up there. No view of the Duke's archives, which is interesting, but probably just hidden by the lip there. I don't know if you can actually see it but if you have a good memory, you might remember this bridge. This is the bridge we crossed to fight Sif. One of the things that makes zero sense is the actual geography of this side of it, which would make the sanctuary there, where his grave is. But it's like, yeah, something happened here, significantly changing the terrain. Over here actually lines up pretty well. And there we get our first enemy, a Scarecrowman. But if you actually overlay the maps, you get a very, very similar layout. So these guys, if you look, are actually made of similar materials as the treemen that you fight in the forest. They're just wearing clothes and have actual weapons. Alright, now, this zone has a bunch of items scattered through it. The only catch is a bunch of them are pain to get to. Alright, so for starters, we're able to see, obviously we're able to go there. Item over there, we can see an item in here. We have a drop. There is actually a glitch, or bug rather, that people found. Guardian gauntlets that allow you to drop down there, activate the shortcut, and skip most of the level. I am not going to be doing that. Kind of defeats the purpose of series like this. So anyways. Guardian gauntlets. Gauntlets of the Stone Knights, guardians of the Forest Sanctuary. The Stone Knights are golems, animated by magic, and their enchanted gauntlets are oppressively heavy. Moss-covered gauntlets of the Stone Knights, defender of the Darkroot Garden. Stone Knight is a product of an ancient magic, and although these gauntlets are also imbued with magic, they are also incredibly heavy. So, that is one of the hints that this is the same area as Darkroot Garden, just in the past. Alright, so I want to fight one of these guys. That tracking! Like, that was almost 360 degrees. I almost two-shot these guys, though. No, I do two-shot them. But man, was that costly. It's like, nah, this area is super, super insane. Really? His double swing was faster than mine? Okay, so if I... Twinkling Titanite. Nice. If I can swing first, I win. If I cannot, they win. Damn it. Really? That hitbox was stupid. Blue Titanite slab. So that's one of the better items you can actually get from this zone. Now they are guarding an item over there. which was the Guardian leggings. Okay. So here we have the Black Dragon Helmy, who you cannot damage there. I can't believe that guy had 3 swings. Like, there was such a delay on that. Oh, nice. Titanite chunk. Bit of a different enemy type there. So instead of having the pitchfork, he had scissors. Alright. Guardian armor. Doing pretty good. Goff's great arrows. Alright, so we're getting a bunch of good stuff. In fact, we've actually gotten a fair amount of the items from this zone. I am super almost dead, though. I am super dead now. Alright, so we need to make that jump, get that item. And then there's only a handful more, and we're done for this zone. Alright. So it's honestly like, the DLC enemies are pretty tough. The Scarecrow men aren't too bad. The Stone Guardians just hit so hard and they drop so few souls that it's just not worth it to fight them. Which, unfortunately, is a running theme in FromSoft's DLCs, where it's just like, nah, man, the enemies are stupid tough and the rewards are garbage. So it's just like, yeah, there is no good reason to do this. Man, those attacks come out so fast. Alright, so I got that item. Calamite does not return. I'm super happy that I got a Titanite chunk there. That's gonna make it easier for me to max out the final weapon I will be using. For the playthrough. Guardian Helm. Alright, might as well pick up my souls while I'm over here. Alright. And I believe it's only Elizabeth mushrooms that are left. Need to be careful around all these holes. Elizabeth mushrooms. Which, the Elizabeth mushrooms are actually pretty good. They're one of the better healing items in the game. So, we're starting to see signs of the abyssal infection that has consumed Oolacile. That's the smoke rising. We have, like, this goop. There's none here, but there was some a little bit ago, like, goop pillars. Yeah, it's like, nah, just in general, Oolacile is not doing the best. Man, that tracking. Alright, so here's some of those goop pillars that I just mentioned. Ah, blue titanite chunk. Alright, so I'm coming down here just to de-aggro them. So around this corner, we get a Soul of a Brave Warrior. And that's all we're going to do down that way for now. Next up, we're going to go over here.
Let me guess. Snatched by a shadowy limb.
Oh, hey!
And dragged off to the past?
Indeed.
Yes, of course. Exactly what happened to me. We are both strangers in this strange land. But at least now there are two of us.
So he does sell items. They're not particularly good, and they're more expensive than where you can get them elsewhere. So it's more of a convenience thing than anything else.
Did you happen across Knight Artorias?
I have not.
The legendary Abyss Walker from the old tales. Well, if you haven't, it's just as well. He's a colorless sort, if you ask me. So, what did that giant mushroom make you do? Not that I care. It's none of my business.
That one's a weird statement.
I've little to talk about, really. Oh, you know me. What do I know?
So it should be noted,
So long.
Should be noted he is wearing a, like, white porcelain mask. That just has this permanent, like, grin. So this is Marvelous Chester. Now, one little thing to note about his general design is it is very Bloodborne. Like, his cloak, always missing is, like, the tricorn hat. But it's, like, right around this time, they were starting pre-production work on Bloodborne, actually. So it's like, they threw in their, their thing for their next game in here. Another little interesting bit is in the Bloodborne DLC, there is a NPC, very, very minor NPC, relatively early. In the DLC that is wearing, an Eastern type armor set. And very, very clearly is the, it very clearly has design inspirations that are shared for, Shikido, Shadows Die Twice. We get a nice view of the little village down there. We grab that gold coin, and all of these guys aggro. Alright, and if I remember correctly... Alright, so that just links up there. Alright, there is another item. Wow! Wow, they fell on me, staggering me, and then instantly went into an attack animation. Well, that's fine. That's all of the items. And I didn't lose enough souls that I particularly care. Now, let's kindle this. Alright. And you know what? This fight is fairly difficult. Let's max kindle this. Because I don't have that much more in the game anyways. And there's only one other bonfire that I'm gonna max kindle. Or need to kindle at all, honestly. So it's like, I might as well. I don't need the humanity for anything else. Alright. Now then, so I have one chunk. I can break one of those slabs. Actually, I can break both of those slabs. That would give me 4 more, so that would give me 5. I already used 1, so I only need 7. So that only leaves 2 chunks to figure out. And I think there are chunks in this DLC? I'll have to see. But no, that's not bad. That should be pretty easy for me to get. Awesome. Awesome. Just a little bit of pre-planning there. Alrighty. Damn, that tracking. Alright. So, next up we have the boss that sits at, for the, well, one of the bosses, I suppose you would say, for the Royal Wood. Might as well. Okay, so this is a challenging fight. There's a few things that can really, really help you on it, which we'll be going over as we get to them. One thing that does really negate this fight is a Great Shield that you've put a decent amount into. Once you have a decent Great Shield, you can just block 90% of what he throws out, no problem. There we go. Pocket Sand. So this is Knight Artorias. Ah, it's scooped. Well, that sucks. So, you can break him out of that if you hit him hard enough. It is super possible to break him out of that. God damn it. Yep. He gets a massive damage buff if he can get one of those off. Man, he hits like a truck. So that's the biggest problem with... well, actually, all the DLC bosses are like that. In Dark Souls 1, where it's just like, all of them just hit so hard. Now, in Artorias' case, that buff, like, not quite doubles, but it does substantially upgrade his damage, as you can see there. And he's able to continue to buff and stack that damage buff, making him increasingly dangerous. Now, it is possible to break him out of that buff. You just need to do a certain amount of poise damage. Now, having a big strength weapon is a big plus for managing to do that. But it's like you have to get in there immediately when he backs off for the buff. The problem is the buff is also one of your best times to heal. As you could see, I got stuck in the loop there where I just couldn't heal. Like, he was attacking... like, his recovery was faster. The cardinal direction rolling got me there. Because I went to do, like, a forward diagonal roll, which is not a thing in Dark Souls 1. So I rolled directly into his stab. Twice. Man, that is one of the just weird design decisions in Dark Souls 1. Because there's no technical reason for it. It would have been super easy for them to put in omnidirectional rolling. It's just not in here for some reason. So I only hit him once last time, but for big damage. And I don't even have an optimized build. Because this thing's currently doing 337 plus 278, and that's like, that's not even optimal for this weapon. So our AR is 616, but I only have 25 strength. 25, and then 50% of that as the bonus. So I have 37 strength when I two-hand, which is pretty close to the soft cap, actually. Was it 27? Pocket sand. Alright. Damn! Ugh! That attack is nonsense. Like the multi-flip. I didn't... Because I was in a very, very long standing animation there. Which means I couldn't get in fast enough. Which is... Part of the problem is that buff is also an AoE. Which deceives a lot of people. I'm also not super experienced with fighting Artorias, to be honest. So it's like... I've only fought him 3-4 times. But, yeah. Man, the standing animation is ludicrous in Dark Souls 1. It's like, why does your character take 5 years to stand? It's like, I'm okay with the generally slow combat, but some of the recovery animations are just like, what? Why? Why does it take that long to recover? The standing one after hard knockdown is one of them. It's like, why am I just lying on the ground this long? So when he does his long distance lunge, Like, that multi-flip is straight nonsense. Ah, follow-up. Ah, damn it. My weapon is too slow. Ah. Bad roll. Okay. Maybe an R2 does enough poise damage to knock him out? Man. That is incredibly stupid that my weapon does not swing. Like, it's... I was 90% of the way through a second swing, which would have probably done the trick. Alright, so I'm gonna try an R2. An R2 might be enough to knock him out. If it is not, that means that I cannot knock Artorias out of his buff. Which means I have to do the fight from that point on perfect. Those guys are so annoying. Which means I have to do the fight from that point on perfectly. It's like, Artorias is, for the most part, a pretty good fight. One of the only problems I have with it is the tracking on his like jump attacks is really, really ridiculous. Not the big like stab slam, but like the flip. Like the tracking on that flip is really ridiculous. He can do a full 360 in the air and hit you. And then the fact, like, it's really insane that he can chain the flip. Yep, no knocking him out of that. What? He goes further than that normally. Why is that a double hit? That is one thing I really don't like, is when it double taps you with an attack. It's like, no, the hitbox should cancel after one on a move like that. I can see the spin where he actually hits you twice, hitting you twice, but the stab, why does that have a weird double hit on it? Man, I forgot that the buff animation is like there was no getting in time on that one. But no, his recovery is really, really fast. I had forgotten that he recovers that quickly from his moves. Like, it's borderline, like, ridiculous. When you hit the DLC, a lot of the enemies and bosses, like, their speed compared to the rest of the game is really insane. Artorias here has that going on where it's like, you have to, like, it's almost frame perfect on some of these. Like the Estus string. But no, he caught me off guard with the slam. Because that's normally a super long distance. Ah, he caught me with the... Yep, that's Alright, his yell. You can't roll. The delay on those flips is really dumb. Like, he shouldn't be able to flip, because it should either be a chain, or, because he can cancel it after any of those. And I think I've seen him chain 4 or 5 in a row. Like, he just did 3 or 4 there. So it's just like, that, it really, really gets ridiculous. Because it's like, yeah, I cannot properly anticipate or deal with a boss that can just mess with the actual number in his moveset. And then his ability, like, his tracking on a few of his attacks. Like, that flip is really ridiculous. Yeah, you cannot dodge back from that, because he's slamming the sword forward. You have to keep dodging around him, which is really, really weird. Man, my R2 is too slow to knock him out of this. I did not pick a good weapon for this. Ah, that had much more range than I thought. God! God damn! The recovery! I was out of stamina. I took out half his health. So my R2 is not fast enough. Really? Well, my R2 doesn't do enough stamina damage? Or poise damage? Really? I have not actually hit him with 2 R1s. 2 R1s might be enough. The problem is I have to get in there immediately. It's when he dodges back twice. I just need to sprint in. I think that's the trick. If 2 R1s is not enough to break him of it, then I'm just gonna have to just do the fight perfectly. Which is not great. I did get over half of his health there. I'm definitely feeling the unlock on this fight, because that gives me much, much more control over my dodge against him. That means I can roll forward past his stab, roll around him easier on his flips. The only problem is I now have to mess with the camera, but it's all about small controlled movements as far as that's concerned. Ooh boy. Good old Orius. Got him good with that counter. Okay, 2 R1s does knock him out. Alright, I got greedy there. Okay, so 2 neutral R1s is actually better. Gotcha! That was the way. Did I only get hit once? Because I didn't use any Estus. Soul of Artorias. That was it! It just clicked that time, and I got it. That's one of the things I really like about Dark Souls, is you just have those moments where it just works. Soul of Lord Gwyn's Knight Artorias, who was consumed by the Abyss. The legend that Artorias repelled the Abyss only told half of the story. Seems that he was defeated, and his honor was preserved by some unsung hero who was the true victor over the Abyss. So what that actually is talking about is that we are the ones that traversed the Abyss and stopped its spread. Not Artorias. Oh, that's weird. I do not remember there being a fog wall there previously. Purple Coward's Crystal. Available only online. So this is a multiplayer combat arena that's locked behind Artorias, interestingly enough. So the Purple Coward's Crystal is the item to, like, forfeit matches. And it's actually used in wrong warp glitches, at least in the Prepare to Die edition. I don't know about this one. Victory in this battlefield once led to ancient Anor Londo, but even in the absence of its overseer, capitulation is a disgrace. In the name of warrior's honor, do not quickly resort to use of this crystal. So it used to be, instead of fighting through Sen's Fortress, one of the ways to get up to Anor Londo, which you can see the corner of the wall up there, was to go through here. Now, I also got an Elizabeth mushroom that I did not read. Large medicinal mushroom of Elizabeth, Keeper of the Sanctuary. Eating this mushroom invigorates the flesh and greatly restores HP for a limited duration. Its dramatic effect to make the difference between a warrior's life and death. And I also got Goff's Great Arrows. If you remember, he is one of the 4 Knights of Gwyn. Great Arrow used by Hawkeye Goff, one of Lord Gwyn's 4 Knights, for dragon slaying. Requires a great bow. Goss personally crafted each stone tip and wrapped the shaft tightly with tree bark. So he makes his own stuff. Super cool. You can hear fun up ahead. Alright. Now, I believe... Or do I need to actually properly reload the zone? Yeah, I need to properly reload the zone. Now, one little note is, for starters, the body Artorias threw at us remains. It is a static object, no ragdoll enabled. Then you also have more abyssal goo leading towards the next part of the level, which is an interesting little detail that we'll talk about more later on. Alright, okay, yeah. With that, I am going to wrap this one up here. Next time, we're going to continue down into Oolacile Township and go from there. So anyways, I'll see all of you guys later. Bye!